Okay guys, I want to give you a little video on the blasters meter. If you're in Wireline, you probably have seen one of these before. You should be pretty familiar with it, but a lot of guys aren't. And a lot of guys are new to Wireline and they really don't know what that meter does. So we're going to help explain a little bit of stuff about it. Now right off the bat, I want you to realize it has Thomas Instruments. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to get it up close right here on these letters right there. Thomas Instruments 109 or something. But sometimes you might see a meter that looks like this. Alright, and I don't know if you can see it. I'll get it close. But it doesn't say the Thomas Instruments. This meter is the identical same meter. This one has been approved for blasting and for explosives. This one has not. So if you ever see it on location, you go like, that's not an approved blasters meter. That's not the one we can utilize. Our IP67 says we can't use this. So yeah, get rid of it. Find you something that's been approved. The Thomas Instruments, that's the one you go with. So just understand, but they are the same meter. Don't fool yourself. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the functions of this thing. This thing looks for voltage, it looks for resistance, it looks for current. We don't use current that much except maybe on straight voltage test, but it also has a diode setting for checking the diodes on a CCL. So what I want to do is kind of go through a couple of these things and explain what the numbers mean on here. Okay, we're going to start with resistance. Let's put it on resistance, and if you put it on resistance, you can put it on 200 ohms. Ohms is the resistance reading. What that 200 says is it can only read up to 200 ohms. If it goes over that, it's not going to read nothing. And when we say it's not going to read nothing, it's probably just going to be a 1 or a slash or something, just like what it's showing right there. Okay, now I have a little resistor here. We're going to check. I'll kind of put this on here if I can get it, make it read. See if it, alright, there it is. So this resistor reads 47 ohms. Okay, it's not a lot. Our detonators have 56 roughly. It's 227 ohm resistors, I believe, in our detonators, but that's what we're checking. So it's 226 ohms. The resistance also, we can check our CCL. I got a CCL here, a little one. And I'm going to give you an example of what this thing looks like when this meter's on the wrong setting. So I'm going to hit this dude and we are going to check it from the top to the body. And it's not reading that, it's giving us a slash. Alright, remember what slash means? It means it ain't reading nothing, or it's over the 200 ohms. Alright, so let's go to the next setting. Next setting is 2000. The K means 1000. Alright, so it'll read up to 2000 ohms. So we'll check it. Oh, look at that. It's starting to read. Okay, now it doesn't read 1.3 ohms. That's really 1300 ohms. Okay, because it's in the thousands. Okay, so that 1 means 1000. Okay, so it's reading about 1300, and that's exactly what the CCL is supposed to read. Okay, so we know it's reading correctly. Okay, so I think we kind of covered the resistance pretty good. The higher the resistance, the higher the scale needs to be. Okay, and that's all we're saying there. All right, another thing we can check is our voltage. I think this is on this end. If you're checking a very small amount of voltage, you're going to have it on the 200 millivolts, which is very small. Most of my voltage checking is about on 2 volts is what I look for. We use this meter to check our straight voltage as well. But let's go ahead and put this on beyond the 200 millivolts. So this is a very small amount of voltage. Now, but what we're going to do is check this CCL. Let's see, the CCL make voltage, and I like to check it. And when I check my CCLs, this is the activation check. So what we'll do is kind of put this together. I got a little piece of metal I'm going to stroke this thing with. All right. And you can kind of see this thing. Now you see it's jumping over the 1. I mean, it's just jumping over 200 millivolts. So let's go to the next setting, which would be 2 volts. All right, now what I'm looking for is 1. Now don't get the slash and the 1 confused, okay? We're looking for 1 volt. So if I can stroke this thing, you see it jump to 1. It's giving me over 1 volt. I'm really happy. CCL's functioning great. Okay, so that's our voltage. If we were doing a check fire and you were checking for voltage, usually we would look for 250 volts. But if it's 250 volts, it would be at the very last setting. So you would put it at the max because it's up to 1500, 200 to 1500. So 250 would be on that setting. All right. If you add it lower, it'll just slow the little slash. Okay. All right. What else we got on this thing? We had the AC and the DC. Don't get that confused if you're checking check fires, DC positive or DC negative. That's going to be on DC. It won't work. It's going to show a slash. I had a little incident that happened to me. I was messing with a hot water heater that wasn't working. And I got my blasters meter and I'm checking the electricity. I was looking for 120 volts or 220, whatever the thing was reading. It wasn't getting nothing. Well, it must not be doing nothing. And I started messing with it, and they shocked the fire out of me because I didn't have it on AC. AC is what's on our electrical outlets and what runs our house and stuff. And don't get that confused. You don't get lit up like I did. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to show you is, well, not the last thing, but the current side. If we do check for current, we got to move our lead over. So you would take the lead and slide it over, and then you can check for current. We usually check for. We have a 50 milliamps is what we have on our straight voltage test when we're checking our test on our well for straight voltage. So we usually put it on that, check it, make sure it's under 50 milliamps. Don't forget. If you're going to start checking resistance, you got to move it back. And a lot of guys will forget to move this thing back over. They'll think nothing's working, but make sure you go back if you can read on this side. So anyway, the last thing I wanted to show you is a diode. Now, I have a diode right here. Now, a diode has its own setting. It's not a voltage, it's not a resistance. Nobody really tells me what the reading is, but it has a setting, if I can put it right there. It has a little diode, a little line with a little triangle. That's a diode setting. Okay. Now all diodes read 0.5. So one diode would read 0.5. Now what we're holding up here is a dual diode. There's only 2 of them in here, but it only reads in one direction, and the other reads in the other direction. Okay. So if I put my lead on here, see what this sucker reads, and guess what? It reads 0.5. All right, and if I flip-flop the diode, it's going to read the other diode. And this 0.5 also. So the diodes is good. Just for a simple dual diode, but that's where we would put the meter on to check a diode setting. So anyway, I hope this little video helps explain kind of what the blaster's meter does. Just don't forget, we want to make sure you got the right meter and not something that's not approved working in the field. It's important. So anyway, all right, I hope this video helps you. Look us up, like us on LinkedIn, or like us on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn, on Facebook, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, the more support you give us, the more we'll want to do this. So, but if you need any wireline training, from bond log training to supervisor training, it's just RP67. We've come out with a new RP67 class that's online that you can take. Did you know that every 90 days is a surface detonation on an oil field location? That's a crazy number to think that every 3 months somebody could get killed, maimed, or hurt. But here at Top Gun, we have tried to eliminate this statistic by putting together an RP67 class that is online. You can take this at your leisure, at whatever your schedule is. This class will take about 8 hours, so it'll take a little time. Who should take this class? Anybody that works in wireline should have this class, especially operators, considering they're the ones that work in the line of fire, lifting and lowering guns all day long. They need to know and understand these safety procedures. Company man or anybody that's in charge of a location needs to be able to watch and understand if wireline companies are following RP67. If the company man doesn't know RP67, how can he correct the action if they're doing something wrong? All companies should have a security blanket, knowing that all their employees are trained in RP67. Each student will receive a certificate showing they've taken the class with a wallet ID that they can identify on location if asked. If this is something you're interested in, give us a call, 979-320-7685, or look us up on our website at topgunoilfield.com. All right, we'll talk to you all later.